Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today we are going to take a look at what lies ahead of us in terms of professions in MOD15. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more informational videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. This is something completely new for me. Normally I only talk about statistics, facts basically. And today we're going to be interpreting a blog that was posted today on the Arc Games website. It's all about the professions overhaul that's going to be happening with the MOD15 release. We're going to do this, of course, because of the mastercrafting sheet that I released. The question is, will it still be relevant after MOD15 hits? Let's read and analyze. So, greetings adventurers, big changes are coming. Let's jump right into the details. I like that. A ground up redesign of the entire profession system, alright, including entirely new recipes. Okay, that's scary already. But at this point, and this of course, that's all what's going to happen today, this is an assumption. I think what they mean here is the leveling recipes. So the leveling recipes up until now are completely, well, mostly useless. There maybe are a couple that are used to make some stronghold stuff, but most of them nobody uses. Who makes gear with the leveling recipes? Basically nobody. Maybe a shirt and pants, but those are also obsolete right now, so it doesn't really happen. So I think these are the leveling recipes and not the masterwork recipes. I could be wrong, but this is what I think. Let's continue. A personal workshop. So we're going to read more about this later. But this is just an area where you can do some steering of tasks. Over 200 unique artisans to hire. First of all, 200 unique. Right now we have some different levels for each profession. So you have a grandmaster, you have the rare artisans, you have the uncommon and the common. 200 is a lot more, and they're unique apparently. And one word here that pops out for me is hire. As I read it, I think this might be a new AD sync, where you hire artisans, so you pay AD for them every day or week. Might be something like that, but hire also means that you can obtain them easily if you have the AD. 200 artisans, can you use them all at the same time? Some questions here, I'm not sure, but hire definitely pops out for me. Maybe this is some kind of AD sync. And big changes to how recipes themselves are completed. This might be a user interface change that you don't have to click on get results, whatever the button is called, I don't even remember. It's just a basic click. Well, we're going to read a little bit about this later again, but I think we have to interpret it like this, how recipes themselves are completed. Yeah, well, maybe we'll get back to that later. Today I want to talk a little about the workshop itself, your new in-world base of operations for all things professions. So this is a new place. This might be a picture of it. It's going to be on the preview server probably Friday, somewhere this week, but up until then it's all speculation. So there's going to be a new area to do professions. Hopefully it's still possible to do professions with the N button. So in your professions window, But yeah, we will see about that. I'm a little bit afraid that you cannot do it anywhere, everywhere at the anymore. So here's an image. Is this the workshop location? Why is there an image of this building? And where is it actually? It doesn't look... It looks a little... No, it's not... No, I don't know where this is. Recent events have left the long-standing workshop down by the Seven Suns custom market. So it's close to the market. Is it on the back? No, I don't know. In Protector's Enclave, so it is a house in Protector's Enclave, and the owner of the property is looking for new leadership to take over. Thanks to Sergeant Knox's suggestion, he's looking for experienced adventurers to fill that role. Okay. From the desk in your workshop, you'll be able to view applications from artisans. Okay, applications, so you can only hire artisans that are applying. So maybe you can choose some per week. That might be it, that there's some kind of rotation with randomness and you cannot use all artisans all the time. That would seem logical. It does add some more RNG to the game. But at least you cannot hire all 200 artisans at the same time. But it seems like, yeah, some randomness here. Artisans will no longer be faceless, nameless icons on your inventory. Well, I think they will be. Once hired, they will appear in your workshop. Okay, once hired again. But is this forever, or if new applications come, will the old ones disappear? All kinds of questions here. I'm really interested in this. What does this mean? From your work table, you will be able to place orders for recipes which they will craft even when you're away. So okay, you can make orders, craft when you're away, and that's also happening right now because timers still continue. This seems like it's the work table, I guess. I don't see it in this picture. Maybe there's two rooms in there. Here's the door. An instant craft command will also be available. Okay, that's the same, which you may use a certain number of times per day. Further rushes cost Astral Diamonds. So what I read here is that you get a number of rushes per day for free. Nice. Definitely will use that. A certain number, of course, very vague, no idea. But rushes similar to the current system, so there is already some change here about the rushing. From the dispatch board, you'll be able to assign adventurers, so this is something else as the artisans, to gather raw materials and raw refinement stones via the gathering profession, which leaderships have been reworked to. Alright, this is a big one. Leadership. Leadership is going to disappear apparently, and we get a new gathering profession. I do hope that we keep the XP from the leadership profession, so gathering should be maximum level. But that's not all. From leadership, as probably everyone knows, we got the leadership bags, which you could open during double refinement stones. And that's not how I read it here. It seems that we get just raw materials and raw refinement stones directly instead of bags. And that means we cannot stack up anymore on bags and open them during the double refining event, the double refinement stones event, which would be a pity. But let's continue. For your work table and gathering orbs, you will be able to specify the number of times you wish for your artisan or adventurer to execute the task, including placing it on repeat. Well, this is really nice, because who wants to go back and repeat all the tasks all the time? I I'm doing it, but I don't really want to do it. And so this is really, really nice if these assignments are any good. So I want to see something close, or yeah, close to what we're doing now with the refinement bags. I have a lot of toons and I want them to do something useful. Okay, so adventurers, it doesn't say we can hire adventurers, but I guess it also applies to them. You'll be assigned adventurers, so it's also multiple to do stuff. Yeah, so the placing and repeat is already a very, very nice. Results from those tasks will be sent to the delivery box in your workshop. So you don't have to gather your results anymore. So this goes back to what they said at the start. Completing and gathering the results is now changed, and everything goes into a delivery box. As long as you remember to empty the box before it fills up, artisans can continue to perform tasks on repeat. Okay, so there's, well, I'm not surprised, some kind of limit to how much can be in there. I don't know if things will stack, but yeah, this can still be a pain if you have to empty the delivery box every day, or well, every week is already a big upgrade. But probably you can also, yeah, you can upgrade your workshop for even more delivery slots. So somehow you have now upgrades for a building. Upgrade your workshop. So workshop is not a profession, it's a building, and you can upgrade much like, I guess, Stronghold, but this is a personal building in Protector's Enclave. Okay, probably another AD sync here, just like in the Stronghold, where upgrading your Stronghold storage also costs quite some AD. So you can leave your workers to the devices for longer stretches. Yeah. So I'm definitely not going to do this for all of my toons, because I'm pretty sure this is just an AD sync. With the workshop and the overall changes, we're making profession something that you can make your own. Your artisans, your workshop. Okay. I don't know how to interpret that. Yeah, you can have artisans that you hire, but there's a selection. Yeah, it's just more variation what I read here. The system is all about managing artisans who craft goods for you, but it should be less tedious and more immersive. Let's see about that. Less tedious, well, with the delivery box and the placing on repeat, it's probably true. Less tedious, probably true. And this actually is one of the improvements of having a lot of character slots. They had in the past made character slots less and less powerful, let's say like that, by making the AD changes and the random queue changes, but this makes them a little bit more effective again, more useful again. I still like the character slots, by the way. So as a release, there's a lot to talk about, too much for one blog post. Okay, so there's a preview thread, we're going to go there in a second. Profession's overall scheduled to be available on preview later this week, so that's what I meant by probably on Friday, so in 2 days from now for me. Playing around with the new system is the best way to learn about it, of course, and we will definitely discuss it. Please keep in mind, everything on the preview chart is subject to change, no problem. Many important details are still to be finalized, including but not limited to tool and artisan stats. Alright, tool stats. So right now the only stat on a tool is the success percentage, and that's based on the rarity. I'm not sure what other stats will be on here. Maybe we get a different for the quality and for the speed that they fluctuate. But what are they going to do with the current tools if this is the case? Are they going to randomize stats on them, or, well, I guess they're not going to disappear, because if someone has a legendary tool, they will not want to lose that. Also artisan stats, right now only speed is applicable here. Tools only quality. Artisan stats, what is this per profession? They have different stats, or is this also different speeds per artisan? I see a lot of variables here, a lot of variation that we are able to add. Recipe difficulty. I'm not sure what this means, because right now recipes are all the same difficulty. You have tiers right now in the recipes, but if you have a tier 3, they are all the same. So our recipes, I'm not quite sure what to think about this one, but this might influence masterwork as well. Maybe, not sure. Maybe some recipes that now only have a tier 1 will get a tier 2 or even tier 3 to make creating some objects more difficult or easier. Recipe materials are subject to change, maybe, but yeah, this is just recipe resources, I guess. XP gain from recipes quite clear. Recipe costs, so this one seems to be the same as materials costs. Or would it be that all recipes now cost AD? Another AD thing, maybe? A lot of maybes in this video, but we are speculating here. So that these two are mentioned separately, it gives me the idea that there might be an AD sync here as well. XP required to level. Once again, I do hope that XP that you already gained is still applicable in the new system. Maybe we get new levels in the professions, so you will not cap at 25, but you will go higher, and then this becomes interesting again, because most people have, well, a lot of their professions at least to 25. So why is this XP required to level so important? Or are they going to make it easier for new players to get to level 25? Could also be the case. And item level of produced goods. Well, once again, this is probably about the leveling recipes, because the stuff in there is just very, very low item level, not useful at all. Maybe they will make some useful things in here. But yeah, I will definitely try out the profession system when it launches on preview. So this is the professions post they were talking about. So you can format feedback and bugs. You can ask a lot of questions here, as it says. Yeah, the update is on preview. Number of small but tremendously important details like costs, recipe materials. So here it's also mentioned separately again. Costs and recipe materials separate. Experience points, item levels are going to change before the update goes live. Okay. Yeah. So you have some interesting questions here again. Of course, masterwork, people did spend a lot of AD and money into masterwork. People who have been in masterwork from the start already made back their money big time, of course, so they will be less affected, but people who just got into Masterwork, they will be pretty upset if Masterwork changes completely. Yeah. When you achieve level 4. Well, this is just making mastercrafting on multiple characters, which I would not suggest to do. Profession, yeah, this is the question. Are your current profession levels are going to be reset, or are we going to keep the XP that we had? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Some more good questions here. The current assets and also tools, what is going to happen with them? Are we going to transfer them to the new system? Are we going to get AD for them? Are they going to disappear? Are they going to still be usable, but somehow they get additional stats? Yeah, what are they going to do with the current stuff? This is really, really important. Should we buy a lot of assets in order to get an advantage? This is also something very important to take a look at once I'll go on preview. I have some legendary tools there, so I will definitely show what happens to them. Yeah. Well, I guess yes to this answer. If you have the recipe for luminescent potions, I would think that they will not remove that. The 4-chamber of Gaunt, of course, how will that work? It's still an asset right now. Will we still have it? Is it still usable? Does it get different stats? What's going to happen with that? Same question. Profession assets that we already have. Yeah. Workshop outlet for the strongholds would be nice. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Would be nice. Yeah, exactly. Ah, we already have some answers even. Masterwork will continue to be a part of professions, though almost all of the standard recipes will be completely gutted and replaced. Those recipes earned via recipe books, such as Masterwork and Cholton recipes, will remain largely similar to what they are now. Alright, it does say largely, but apparently most of the Masterwork, Cholton I'm not that interested in, but mostly the Masterwork recipes will stay the same. So that's a good sign for our sheet. That being said, though the recipes will remain similar, the manner of interacting with them will be updated to match the rest of the system. Interacting with them. So you have to send... Oh, you will slot a single artisan and single tool, and those recipes will have a difficulty rating that determines their success rate. Difficulty rating that determines their success rate. So you put one artisan and one tool in there. The artisan determines the speed, I guess, and the tool the how good. Or maybe the artisan also has a quality now, I guess, because a better artisan has more success. I could imagine that. However, you'll now be able to create high quality versions of those items with higher item level and superior stats. Okay, so we're not going to create the same item every time, but you can get lucky and make higher quality versions. We did have something like that in the leveling professions, where you can get a tier 1 version of an item, tier 2 and tier 3, and of course the tier 3 was the best level. But as I read it here, it seems that there's going to be again more variation and more variation on stats, I think, which will be very interesting. So if you get very lucky, you can get a very, very expensive item in here. Yeah. Adding hundreds of new inventory estimated place to put them. Okay, yeah, there are already. Oh, here's another answer. Let's go through the answers. While I won't say we make Masterwork account wide, we currently have no plans to do so. So our Masterwork will still be on one account. With these changes, it does seem that maybe getting mastercrafting on multiple accounts, or well, not on multiple accounts, on multiple characters on your account might become more interesting. Although you can still rush your recipes, you can still get the items directly. So maybe it isn't. Masterwork unlock is really expensive. The new professionals will be adjusted to span levels 1 through 70. Okay, this is a big update, so it's not 25 anymore, but to 70. Easier to follow along, level 65. Okay. Less tedious. Every existence player professional level will be adjusted to the new scale. Okay, so this also answers our question about the XP. On my main character, all professions are level 25, so they will be scaled to level 70. If you're done with your profession, it will be also done after the update. And it should be equally quick to level through your professions, as it's stated, of course. It won't be much longer. Okay, so maybe even tomorrow. Your leadership level will convert directly to an equivalent level in gathering. Nice. So this will also be updated directly. Assets are a bit different. The asset landscape is changing tremendously. You have far fewer artisans under your employ, as you will only be assigned a single artisan to each task, and those artisans will have significantly more impact, with their own array of stats and skills. Okay. So maybe artists have a specialty. Like I said before, maybe a specialty that an artisan is very good at a certain profession. But array of stats. What kind of stats can they mean there? Tools are in a similar situation, with only a single tool being assigned, and most professions only using a single type of tool, with the exception of gathering. That said, there will be more granularity with tools, and for the most part they will be obtained in-game, with the primary source being crafting itself. Okay, so we can craft our own tools instead of... Yeah, right now they only come out of log boxes. Blacksmiths, as well as artificers and a few other professionals, will be able to make tools. Tools at their own required levels and provide better and better stats. Well, this is not a very good sign for our guys with legendary tools, but yeah, it's interesting to see what they're going to do with the conversion of the old tools into the new tools. I cannot imagine that they just disappear. So what does it mean how assets convert to the new system? Okay. One single epic artisan in the old system does not come close to being as valuable as a single epic artisan in the new system. You'll be able to exchange your existing assets for a currency. Alright. That currency will allow you to purchase a comparable amount of assets in the new system, redistributing them however you please. Once again, doesn't seem very good for the legendary guys. Though we briefly considered converting each of them at a specific ratio into the item new system, ultimately with all the changes going on, we opted to allow you to convert them yourself. If you've decided you like to focus more on artificing now, feel free to use the currency obtained by trading in your jewel crafting assets on artificing assets. Well, it does give you freedom to do what you want. But I feel like this is a good moment to sell all my heroes. I have quite a few of them. And as I read it here, it doesn't matter at all anymore which assets you have when MOD15 goes live. I think this is a good moment to sell the heroes, while they're still very expensive. The same exchange process will be available for any materials that are no longer used. Materials that are no longer used. This is, yeah. Convert those materials into most of the materials used in non-masterwork recipes. Okay. In regards to the 4-channel and legendary tools, those will be exempt from the standard conversion process and instead convert one-on-one in the equally valuable tool of your choice in a new system. Wow. So before they said epic is not equal to epic. Well, they don't say legendary into legendary, they say equally valuable tool. So maybe you get, instead of a legendary tool, it will create an epic tool for that. But 4-chamber is mythic, of course. Let's see what we get for our 4-chamber, and maybe we should stack up on 4-chambers. One more thing to look at on the preview server, what we get there. A remote recipe book and sanding stone. Well, so there's a quest series. Place orders, craft, emptied box. Nice. Anyone with professions already maxed out will be able to reach these milestones very easily. All professions or one profession? Though crafting Russian item instantly will cost a bit more morale remotely. Morale? Costs a small amount of morale? What the hell is morale? Is this going to buff your quality of your results? Is this going to make difficult recipes easier? Oh, this is the first time I hear something like this. But there's also something like morale that you can stack up. Morale replenishes at the start of each day and can be recharged for Astral Diamonds. So another AD sync here. The only tasks that cannot be done remotely at all are hiring and firing artisans and adventurers. So here we can see you can also hire and fire artisans and adventurers. Upgrading the workshop and assigning gathering tasks. So I'm not even sure they're still going into the bag. But maybe they do. Upgrading the workshop and assigning gathering tasks. However, whatever gathering tasks you have assigned can be set to continue indefinitely so long as your delivery box is not filled up completely. Tools in the new system will stack. That's good. And artisans no longer located in your asset bag. So this is what I tried to say just now. They are managed separately from the manager's desk in your workshop. You will employ significantly less artisans and you will unlock the ability to employ more as you upgrade your workshop. Okay, so this is a little bit like the profession slots where you could have 9 in total. Now we have to upgrade our workshop in order to get more profession slots, basically. I wonder how many we can get maximally. Whether it's less or more than 9 and how much it will cost to upgrade your workshop. This can be a big factor in how strong the back tunes will be, the character slots that are not main characters. So that's it for the answers from the developers. It has become quite a long video, but this is a very, very interesting subject to talk about. As I said, I will be covering this also when it goes to preview, and I will show you first glance what is going on and what the costs are, what the new recipes are looking like, how it works. I will keep you updated. If you have any remarks in this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.